Hi, I'm Anthony from Learning to Play the Guitar. In this video I'm going to show you how to play a finger-picked chord melody version of the tune Auld Lang Syne. Auld Lang Syne roughly translates to for old times, and so it's the end of 2021, so we can say goodbye to those old times. This version of Auld Lang Syne is in the key of C, and as it's a finger-picking tune, we're going to use our thumb, index, middle and ring fingers to pick out the bass notes, the chords and the melody as well, of course, here. So, starting off, the first chord shape we're going to deal with here is C, and following the tab here, the top notes will be the melody notes and the other notes will be based around the C chord. So first off we have an open G with my index finger. My bass note will be played by my thumb here on the A string, and at the same time the melody note is my middle finger here on the B string. And then index on the G, thumb will drop down to the E2 note on the D string. Then we've got an open B, finger coming off. And as a general rule here, we're going to let each chord ring out as much as possible. Then we go back to the first finger down on the C, so I've got a pair of C's, bass note and the C on the B string, index finger on G, E, which is the bottom melody note, with my ring finger, index G. So bar 1. There's that pattern. Second bar is D minor, based around the idea of a regular D minor chord, but we're going to change a few things around. As we're not going to play this F1 note down here, we're going to use the open D with my thumb, my little finger on the 3D note, just because it's easy to reach to quickly from the C shape. So I've got that there, and my second finger prepped on the A2 note here on the G string. So I'm going to thumb, middle finger, the B string, put a pair of Ds there for the melody note and the bass, pluck the A note, which is the G string there. Now I'm going to put my third finger down and hit a 3F bass note walking up. Then take my little finger off, a little bit complicated this. I'm going to pluck now what's the number 1 C note here with my middle finger on there, this D minor thing. So we have D minor, but we have a little hint of an F, which is very similar chord to D minor, I'll just say that. So this little D minor bit sounds like that again. So you can see the bass note changes and the melody note changes there, so a little bit complicated. Then we jump to a G. I'm going to play it with my third finger here, playing the top G note. My little finger here is back on the 3D note on the bottom, picking, again the thumb is obviously hitting the bass note, and the 1, 2, 3 fingers are maintained on the bottom all the way through mainly. Anyway, here we go. So my little finger was staying on that 3D note. We had an open E string as well. Now moving on, we've got an A minor shape, bar 3, and following the tab here, again my thumb will jump down to the D string when required, but otherwise it's just an A minor shape. That's hopefully fairly simple. Back to C chord, starting off with a regular C chord again, thumb, ring finger on the bottom, E for the melody, index on the G, little finger now on the 3G note down the bottom there, or high in pitch. So we have C, an addition of the higher G note there. Then we're going to slide over here. To me it's like that little power chord shape, the 1 and the 3 fingers on frets 3 and 5, making a little F power chord, little finger on the A melody note down the bottom here. So we have this. Between my thumb and my index on the middle 2 strings, thumb, extra bonus high A note there on fret 5 on the E string down the bottom there. Next bit back to the C, but little finger now on the G, plucking like this, little finger off, I'm going to pluck those 2 notes again, but bass and E, and G, C, G, index, middle index on those 2 strings, back to the little D minor dance from earlier on, so little finger back on the 3D, second finger on the A2, 3 finger on the F note, off, C note there, so, whoops. So that was back in bar 2 at the start of the tune. Now though we're going to change to an E7, but all I need is my 3D little guy staying there, or coming back I suppose. First finger on the G sharp and an E string open. Doing that, E string, just leave my little finger there for that 3D note. Now A minor again, similar to before, just slightly different. Back to the G, that's the A note from the melody there. Then D, and all we need to do is just lose a finger. A, D note, D string as well with my thumb, G, index, G bass note, and just a C. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4 pluck that with my thumb and my 3 fingers. So that's the first half. The second half is very similar, so I'll run through that, but there are a couple of little variations. So starting off with a high A note, little finger by himself. Jumping back to C, but my little finger has now joined the party down the bottom. For this pattern, off the open E, C and E again. It's very similar to what we played earlier on in the middle of the last section. The D minor and its dance yet again, same as before. Now we're going to change to a G, but in this case we're going to go second finger on the bass G note, third finger on the 3D note on the B string, plucking this way, first finger index stretch. If you can do it, that'd be cool. If you find that too hard, you might have to jump your fingers around. You could go this way, I suppose. If you find that an easier stretch with the first, second, and third little finger. Sorry, first, second, and little finger. Then back to the C with the little finger again. And again, the index finger is plucking the G string there. Then we slide that F mini power chord in the middle again. Bottom A note again with my ring finger, of course, that's his job on the E string. C chord with the little finger yet again into the last section. Off. Then that D minor dance, I'm calling it. Number 1 C there, plucked on the B string. Then the E7 again. 3D, 1 G sharp, my little guy there. Oops, that E bass note, of course. A minor on the end, last section. A2 note, plucked with my index finger there in the middle of the guitar. A, D, hinting at a D minor, G open, G bass note, and good old C chord in the middle, 4 strings, 4 fingers. Subscribe to the Learning to Play the Guitar YouTube channel for more lessons, and don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications when I upload a new video. You can also check out my books and more lessons at my website learningtoplaytheguitar.net. Thanks for watching and keep practicing.